What's up, closers and entrepreneurs? It's my second training video of the week. I told you I'd put out 3 this week, so I got to do 1 tomorrow because I'm going camping for Memorial Day weekend, which I'm very excited about. I need a vacation, a real vacation. My last vacation was to Dallas to BFA Live, and that was a vacation, but also an educational process at the same time. So I'm ready to just go cut loose, get centered with nature, and figure out what my next couple months are going to look like. So I'm excited about that. But I had this big long training written out, and I was going to break it down into 3 different parts this week. And as I was going over it, I realized that it was pretty simple stuff that most of you that may be following me already probably know, and it's probably not going to keep your attention. So today I want to talk to you about the 3 biggest obstacles that I have to overcome each day with my clients, and that's fear, skepticism, and analysis paralysis. Obviously, anytime you're doing something new, you're going to be scared. So my acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real, meaning we don't know what's going to happen in the future. I could walk outside of my house and get hit by a school bus, and that would be the end of it for me. Somebody, one of my clients may have a medical condition that holds them back. There's all sorts of things that can happen. Those are the what ifs, right? And if you live in fear of the what ifs, then you're never going to take action, because that fear will overcome the action, and we make decisions to move away from pain or to move towards pleasure. And if that fear is more painful, if avoiding that fear is more painful than the pleasure of overcoming it, then you're never going to take action. So I challenge any of you who haven't got started, who haven't haven't done anything or taken any action steps to get your business going, but you want to, step out of that fear. It's not real. Once you take that first step, that's the hardest step. The rest of it will start to come together slowly but surely. Skepticism. Talk to a lot of people that are skeptical because of lack of knowledge. From my experience, I've been doing high ticket sales for about a decade, and I found that skepticism is caused by lack of knowledge. So the more I can get somebody on the phone, the more I can get somebody engaged, the more I can educate them, the lower the skepticism level. And then once we are able to address any questions or concerns up front, then we can have a real conversation about what's your problem, what's your solution, and how can I provide that solution to you, and is that going to be a good fit for the both of us. But until you get that skepticism out of the way, which again is just lack of knowledge or lack of information about you, your company, or what you provide, you're not going to ever make a sale. So I have to overcome skepticism all the time, and again, the only way to do that is to have somebody on the phone, have a conversation with them, send them content, let them know who you are, let them do their due diligence until they decide that they're ready to have that buying conversation with you. Third thing I want to talk about is analysis paralysis. Engineers are notorious for this. Accountants are notorious for this. All they do is analyze numbers all day. They analyze measurements all day. So when it comes to a business plan, again, we all know that you want to provide solutions over features. So this is where analysis paralysis can come into play with certain types of individuals. You got to know who you're talking to. If you're talking to somebody who is very analytical, you don't want to go through and go through a bunch of data with them, because they're just going to overanalyze it, overwhelm themselves, and ultimately that leads to inaction. And so analysis paralysis, I would define as looking for the hole in the boat, thinking about the future, having anxiety about things that may or may not happen, and really just overthinking things. If it makes sense today, it will make sense tomorrow. If 1 + 1 = 2 today, it's going to equal 2 tomorrow. So I want to ask you, when's the best time to make a change? Of course, as soon as you find the vehicle that's going to get you to the changes that you want to make. So I think that fear and skepticism both play into this. And if you can eliminate the fear, if you can let them know that this is all fake, this is all in your head. In your head. The more that you can educate them, the less analysis paralysis you're going to run into when you go for the close. So those are the 3 things I want to cover with you real quickly today. The other thing, I was watching a documentary on Russell Brand. Some of you may or may not know who he is. He is the European comedian who hosted the VMAs. He didn't get into the Greek. He blew up really fast and haven't seen him for a while. But his ego had him believing he was some sort of messiah, that he's here to change the world. And I know he does a lot of philanthropy with drug addiction and things like that, because he's an addict or an addict in recovery. But nonetheless, he was getting to the point where he thought he was Jesus reincarnated. So the documentary was all about how he got there and his comments and things going through that experience. But he was sitting down talking to his psychologist, and the one thing his psychologist said was, you got celebrities, Kim Kardashian, for instance. Well, let me take a step back. We're all ran by ego. A good book that can explain this to you is called A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. Our ego is something that is deep back in our brain, that is programmed to protect us. It's that fight or flight, it's that survival, and that's the first thing that makes a decision for us, or that's the first filter of decision making for us. So, a person like Kim Kardashian or a celebrity is ran by self-ego. They're only worried about themselves. They make their decisions based on themselves. They do things only for the benefit of themselves, and that's why they're celebrities, bottom line. People like Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King, people that have truly changed the world in large numbers of people, they still are ran by ego. We're all ran by ego because, again, it's in our brain, way back in the middle part, to help us to survive. The difference is they have been able to shift from having a self-ego to a group ego, where they're more focused on helping the group than helping themselves. And so I challenge you guys to try to make this paradigm shift. Bob Proctor talks a lot about making paradigm shifts. Check him out on YouTube, a lot of good information there. Make the paradigm shift from concentrating on how you can benefit to how you can help others benefit. Tony Robbins says that your income or your success is going to be in direct proportion to the number of people that you can help achieve their goals. Your success is going to be in direct proportion to the value you bring to the marketplace, and your success is going to be in direct proportion to the level of uncertainty you can handle in your life. So that's what I got for you today. I will see you tomorrow because I'm going camping for the weekend. I'm going to be out of service. Thank goodness. Nobody can call me or bug me. But hopefully that was of some value and some help to you this morning. Go out and kill it. It's Thursday. End the week strong, and I'll see you.